2026. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Roll call, please. Here.
Vice President Wynn Greer, Trustee Honeychurch, Trustee Kara, Trustee Thurston, Trustee Young, Trustee Voice. Here.
Thank you. Approval of the agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? All right. It was moved by Trustee Rosemary Thurston and seconded by Trustee Dennis Honeychurch to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Oppose? Abstain? The motion was passed. Comments from members of the public? Comments from members of the public. We're going to move on to closed session, and we will reconvene to our regular meeting. Thank you. Good evening. We're going to reconvene to regular meeting at 7:08 p.m. There was no action taken in closed session. There are comments from members of the public. Superintendent? Okay, there are no comments from members of the public. So we're going to move to, can we, where it takes up, okay, reports. Associate students of Solano College. Okay, so they're not going to be here this evening. We're going to move on to the Academic Senate. Senate President Rachel Purdy. Welcome. Hi.
Wow. Fancy, you guys. It's real fancy. Hi. Thank you for having me. I'm the incoming Senate President, Rachel Purdy. I'm full-time history faculty here. And I've been on the Senate for a while now. I started here at Solano as a part-time faculty member for several years before I got the full-time job. And I served on Senate in both capacities as a part-time senator and as a full-time at-large. So really happy to be here. So we haven't had a Senate meeting since May, and I think Josh gave you guys the update. I will fill you in on just some things that have happened this summer, though. On June 4th, we had our graduation ceremony at CMF, California Medical Facility. Shout out to those of you trustees that were there. It was a really special event. I was there, past President Josh Scott was there. Past President Lene Jaimes and Michael Wiley were also in attendance. I think it's really special, especially for us who teach out there for the Rising Scholars Program. I also attended the ASCCC, the Academic Senate of California Community Colleges, their faculty leadership seminar last week. It is a seminar it's a conference for new Senate leadership specifically so that I could learn the nuts and bolts of my new role. And so I learned a lot of things, have more questions than answers at this point, but I'm really looking forward to working with the trustees, with the administration, with the staff. I really, really love this college. This was the only college that I wanted to work at. I worked at 7 colleges before here as a freeway flyer. I was just telling John. And Solano was my unicorn. This is where I wanted to be. And I tell everybody who will listen that I have my dream job. And how lucky am I to be able to be in a role to make the college better for students. And I'm looking forward to working with all of you. So thank you.
Thank you so much. And yes, it was wonderful seeing you there. We'll move on to College Governance Council. Superintendent President Dr. Kelly Sims Butler.
Thank you. College governance, we have not met since May. College governance will have their next meeting August 26th, and I'll report at that time. For the superintendent president updates, I wanted to just highlight a few things. We haven't had an update since commencement, so just wanted to do another shout out for such a great commencement ceremony. Over 500 graduates participated in commencement this year. We also had a live stream where hundreds actually watched the ceremony from home, and we ticketed this year, and it went really smoothly. So kudos to the VP Neely in Student Services, her admin, Amber Cheatham, and the Dean of Equity, Heather Watson Perez, and Student Development Director, Dr. Gabby. Gabby got married, so it's not Ballesteros, it's Lopez now. But really amazing team that came together, and just the rest of the campus that came together to support them. But really amazing, large graduate class, and it went smoothly. After graduation, the biotech program had their celebration. It was a lovely event. I really enjoyed being able to hear from the students. So the way their celebration worked is very informal, and the students share kind of their favorite moment of the program, and then they also share where they're going next. And so it was really nice to hear from the students because it's a cohorted program. Many of their favorite moments were moments together, hanging out. But the program almost has 100% placement of either students getting a job or going on to graduate school. And so the program is really doing a great job. Trustees Cargo Reed and Trustee Wynn were present for that event as well. And we also got to meet one of the new faculty members for the biotech program. So it's a really great event. As Academic Senate President Rachel Purdy mentioned, we had the CMF graduation, which also had a record number of graduates, with students earning over 80 degrees. And I believe Dean Zitko mentioned there's still maybe 80 degrees pending. So quite a few accomplishments there, with about 35 students who were inducted into PTK. Trustees Cargo Reed and Kara were in attendance for that graduation. It was a really great event. We had the Solano Education Foundation Chamber Mixer in Vacaville that same day, actually, with well attended. Actually, it was crowded with sponsorship from Kaiser, North Bay, First Northern, Western Health, Travis Credit Union, and several others there. It's always a great event for the local employers to engage and just to see the campus. They many of them hadn't been to the Vacaville campus, so it was nice to be able to showcase our campus. This past Monday, we had a visit from the Asian Pacific Americans in Higher Education. APAHI is the organization's name, and the California Community College's Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Student Achievement Program, which we call ANAPI-SAP. We were one of 5 colleges that were visited. There are 51 colleges that receive state funding, and they identified 5 programs to come and just kind of see what we were doing, learn how we were doing it. They had met our faculty coordinator, Maria Isip Batista, at one of the conferences and wanted to learn more about the program. They actually sat down and talked with the students as well. I think that was probably one of the most intriguing parts of the day. VP Neely and VP David Williams. I'm just going to pause because your nameplates are backwards, and I keep looking up at them, trying not to comment, but I had to. They were in attendance and got to share feedback.
So much
But it was a great day long conversation. I think of the comments shared, one of the students shared that he was proud to be a part of Solano Community College, and he was committed to further developing the work that we're doing here, and not just for the ANAPI-SAP. Right. And so that it was just really heartwarming, because this is a student who hopefully will be able to share part of their journey, but someone who at one point was living in their car, who is now like solidly engaged in school, doing really well, and committed to just getting other students engaged on campus. The APAHI director who was visiting commented that we really had a stellar program, so we're really proud of what we were able to showcase. We probably need to figure out how to focus a little more, because we got to figure out how to institutionalize the work that we're doing, but it was a very promising meeting, and I think really gave us some ideas about how we could model for some of our other learning communities on campus. The another promising, we'll see soon enough, event is the California Assembly released their 2-party budget agreement for 2027-2028, promising to fully fund the Student Center funding formula, otherwise known as the SCIF, and also several other areas that would be supportive of the California community colleges. But we will see soon what the final budget looks like. Lastly, just wanted to share update. Our very own student trustee Veronica Rodriguez did send us a message because I wanted her to share where she was going to go. If you recall, she got admitted to about five UCs actually, but she was trying to choose between Berkeley and UCLA, and she will be a UCLA Bear. So we, a Bruin. So we will. That's right. I got them backwards. The Berkeley Bears. But very excited to congratulate her and keep in touch with her as she continues her journey. And that concludes my updates.
Yes, thank you so much for all your updates. Yes, trustee.
Since we've talked about graduation again, do we not have a program in our big graduation? You know, that if you go to all the other satellite graduations like the CMA, there's always a little program and it lists all the names of the people graduating, things like that. Do we not have that for the main? Have I missed that?
We do have a program, and it's probably note to self to make sure we also include them on the trustee chairs because they were handed out in the audience as the guests came through the gate.
So every graduation I've gone to, I've never seen one.
Okay.
So it would be nice to see it. Because,
Absolutely.
Also, I wonder if it would be nice to include maybe something like where they're transferring to. It seems to me like it's something that everybody wants to remember.
Mm-hmm.
And we have some really amazing transfers, you know, Howard and UCLA. So please, anyway, thank you.
All right, thank you. All right, we're going to move on to the consent agenda action items. All matters listed under the consent agenda are considered by the board to be routine and will be enacted by the board in one motion. There will be no discussion on these matters prior to the time the board votes on the motion unless members of the board, staff, or the public request specific items to be discussed and/or removed. Time will be provided before the vote for clarification questions without removing an item from the consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda? Yes.
Did it.
All right, thank you. It was moved by trustee Anne Marie Young and seconded by trustee Quentin Voice to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Abstained? Consent agenda was passed. We're going to move on to non-consent agenda items. Human Resources Director, Mr. Abate is not here, so.
Director Abate isn't here. The item 13A is the Faculty Association MOU agreement that is being shared with the board, and we're asking the board to approve.
Do I have a motion to approve the Faculty Association MOU agreement?
I'll second the motion.
All right, it was moved by trustee Dennis Honeychurch and seconded by trustee Anne Marie Young to approve the Faculty Association MOU agreement. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstained? The motion was passed. We're going to move on to Finance and Administration. VP Wheat, hello.
Yes, good evening, Madam President, members of the board. The first item, item 13B, is the new board policy 3880, which is the unmanned aircraft systems, otherwise known as drones, that we presented at the last meeting for information and are bringing it back for approval tonight. So do so.
All right, do I have a motion to approve the new board policy 3880?
So moved.
The drone policy, yes. It was moved by trustee Quentin Voice and seconded by trustee Dennis Honeychurch to approve the new drone policy. Is there any discussion on this? All right, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed, abstained, the motion was passed. Thank you. Moving forward to 13C, contract for college math readiness proposal.
Yes, thank you again. This is a contract for summer boot camps for our incoming students and high school students to make sure that they are ready for the transfer level classes and give them kind of an edge up. And we ask for your approval.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve item 13C.
All right, it was moved by trustee Amory Young and seconded by trustee Rosemary Thurston to approve the contract for the college math readiness boot camp. Is there any discussion? Trustee Quentin Voice.
Thank you. I was just going to ask, is this mandatory for students who are scoring lower in math, or is this just an opportunity to?
It's just an extra opportunity for
Okay,
them.
cool. Thanks.
Trustee Kern.
And do we have enough spaces to accommodate anyone that wants to?
There are several boot camps that we're going to be offering. This is going to be the first year, so we'll get a better idea of how many we need, and we may extend it if we need to.
Okay, thank you.
And it's my understanding, so the boot camp is absolutely voluntarily, and if they want to utilize this boot camp, this is nothing to help transition from coming from wherever area of life to coming to the college, correct?
Correct.
So it'll help like people even getting ready to go to chemistry and things like that.
Exactly.
Okay. Calculus, sorry. Yes, Karima?
But we also help people once they're in the class, even if they don't take the boot camp. Because
Absolutely.
that's the requirement from
Yes.
the chancellor's office. Brilliant, thank you.
Thank you.
It's not getting rid of any services that we already provide. It's just an extra service that we're going to do for our
Nice,
students.
thank
I
you.
like that. Thank you. All right, all those in favor,
Has there been a motion?
please say aye.
Aye. Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The motion was passed. Did you have a question? All right, we're going to move on to 13D, contract award for VP Wheat.
Yes, thank you. This is a contract award for the 1800B electrical upgrade project. This is for our special inspections and testing contract as required by the DSA. We'll have another contract come before the board for the general inspections, but DSA requires them to be separate, special inspections and testing, general inspections and testing. So we're asking for your approval on this first contract.
All right. Do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion to approve 13D.
I second the motion.
All right, it was
Ms.
moved by
Darrow.
trustee Quentin Voice and seconded by trustee Rosemary Thurston to approve the contract award for the electrical upgrade project. Is there any discussion?
I just thought I would share from Measure Q
Thank you,
that
trustee.
this is because this one hasn't been presented to us. It's in our updates, the paper ones, but this is increasing our capacity for electrical for all of our CTE programs in the 1800. We've thankfully grown and done really cool things with robotics and welding and things that now need some electrical updates.
Thank you.
Thank you, trustee Quentin Voice, for elaborating. Is there all those in favor? Please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Abstain? The motion was passed. Moving on to 13E.
Thank you. This is a change order for EF Breton Company for our building 1600, our cosmetology building. It includes several items, several changes that were not included in the original scope of work. Some of those include the door locks, so that they are compatible with our system. Same with some of the receptacles for the computers and stuff like that, so that they're compatible with our system. And just making the area have a little bit better efficiency for our students and our faculty. So we're asking for your approval.
Looks like a good plan.
All right, do I have a motion to approve 13E?
Madam Chair.
13E.
All right, in second?
I can second it, okay.
All right, it was moved by trustee Rosemary Thurston and seconded by trustee Amory Young to approve the change order. Is there any discussion?
I had just one
Yes,
question.
trustee Karima?
I was just wondering why we didn't have that already kind of thought of.
It was a very general locks and receptacles, and it didn't specify the compatibility portion of it. We will be making sure that that's in future contracts if we need to do that.
Okay, thank you.
Wise idea.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Is all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Oppose, Abstain? The motion was passed. All right, moving on to 13F.
Thank you. Last one on this section for me. This is the resubmission of the Student Housing Grant Program. As you may remember, a few months ago, we brought contracts to update the housing grant application. This is the actual application that we're asking the board to approve. The state does not have funding for this at this time, but they are using these documents as planning documents to be able to ask the state for funding for these types of products. So it gets us in the queue, it gets us in the line, and so we're asking for your approval.
Madam Chair, I move that we approve item 13F.
I'll second.
All right, it was moved by trustee Amory Young and seconded by trustee Dennis Honeychurch to approve the resubmission of student housing grant. Are there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion was passed. And thank you for making sure we get waitlisted and keep this going. Right, moving on to student services, VP Neely, hello.
Hello. Good evening, President Cargo Reed and members of the board. I'm pleased to be presenting our resolution recognizing Women's Veterans Day. We are proudly honoring the service and sacrifices of all women who have served in the U.S. military. So we're requesting approval of this resolution this evening in recognition.
All right, may I have a request to have you please read it, VP Neely?
Yeah, and I'm sorry, but we can't hear you. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah, use your, yell it. I'm kidding.
This doesn't help me.
No, it doesn't.
Is that better? That
It
doesn't,
does not help.
okay. Is
But
that
the
better?
Light is very
That's
nice.
better.
Yes.
Okay. Whereas Federal Women Veterans Day is observed annually on June 12th to commemorate the signing of the Women's Armed Services Integration Act of 1948, which permanently integrated women into the U.S. military. Whereas Solano Community College acknowledges women have served honorably in the armed forces of the United States since the founding of our nation, contributing to the defense of freedom, democracy, and national security. And whereas women have played critical roles during times of war and peace, serving as leaders, medical professionals, pilots, engineers, intelligence specialists, combat personnel, and in countless other capacities essential to the military readiness and mission success. And whereas female veterans have demonstrated extraordinary courage, resilience, and dedication while overcoming unique challenges and barriers throughout military history. And whereas the contributions of female veterans have strengthened the armed forces and paved the way for future generations of women to serve and lead. And whereas upon civilian life, female veterans continue to make significant contributions to their communities as educators, healthcare professionals, business leaders, public servants, volunteers, and advocates. And whereas it is appropriate to recognize the service and sacrifices made by female veterans and to honor their enduring legacy of patriotism, leadership, and commitment to our nation. Therefore, be it resolved that the governing board of the Solano Community College District hereby recognizes June 12th, 2026, and honors all female veterans for their exemplary service to the United States and expresses its deepest gratitude for their sacrifices and contributions to our nation. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for reading that for us. Good job. We're going to have the roll call, please. Thank you. Oh, do we have to do the motion first?
Was there a motion?
I would do roll call.
Motion.
Okay, do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve
I'll second the motion.
Thank you.
this resolution.
It was moved by trustee Honeychurch and moved by trustee Thurston to approve the resolution number 2526-21 proclaiming Women's Veterans Day.
Okay.
All right, roll call.
Trustee Thurston,
Yes.
trustee Young,
Yes.
trustee Boyce,
Aye.
trustee Kara,
Aye.
trustee Nguyen, trustee Honeychurch,
Aye.
President Cargo Reed.
Aye. Yes. And it passes. And thank you for making sure that this was able to get in there this month. And thank you, trustees, for all your support especially even out to Amy Kennedy as well. She does a great job, female veteran in our Veterans Department. All right, we're going to move on to Technology Services, VP Corneliuson. Hello.
Hello, and thank you, President Cargo-Reed, members of the board. Up before you is an agreement with Firelli. This is a renewal of an existing agreement for services we're currently using. So this is basically a what we call like a wraparound agreement for project work. So we have normal operational responsibilities, and then we layer upon that work, project work. And so this is an augmentation to help with that for temporary projects throughout the year, with a colossal one being Banner SAS. And so this is a renewal. It entitles us to 160 hours a month of professional services, and it's mainly used in technology services and HR.
Right. Well, do I have a motion to approve the contract?
Madam Chair, I move that we approve item 13H.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, it was approved by trustee Anne Marie Young and seconded by trustee Rosemary Thurston to approve the resolution for contract with Firelli. Is there any discussion? All right, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain? The motion was passed. We're going to move on to information items from Superintendent President, Dr. Kelly Butler.
Thank you. The first item is Board Policy 1037, which is order of business for the governing board. This is an information item, so it's here for the first reading. The update to this policy, we've made some proofreading updates. We've updated the departments that are represented. For example, Technology Services was one that we needed to update. And we also added a recognition agendized item so that we can publicly celebrate recognitions, awards, and retirements and things like that as part of the meeting before the meeting gets started. So we will bring this item back at the next meeting for a vote.
All right, thank you. Superintendent President.
Any questions?
I wanted to say that that's really good that we're moving so that we do it at the beginning. That was really good. Thank you.
That's a great suggestion.
Trustee
Trustee
Boyce.
Voice. Appreciate it. All right, we're going to move on to Finance and Administration, VP Wheat. Oh, you have one more. My apologies. Superintendent.
A strategic plan.
Yes. The second item 14B is the 2026-2029 strategic plan. This plan is here for the first reading as well. It will come back at the next meeting for a vote. I just wanted to highlight that the strategic plan has been a college-wide effort. Where there has been lots of input. It's gone through the participatory governance process. Throughout the process, equity has been centered throughout the process and highlighted to kind of focus on Solano College's mission to serve our diverse community and to ensure that all of our students, no matter what their background or ableness, that they're able to be served and provide support. I also appreciate in this strategic plan that we've included conversation about accountability, review, and assessment of metrics. Any questions?
Do we have, does somebody proofread that there's a lot of spacing errors and things?
Space?
Spacing between words. There's,
We'll look at it.
okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
I'd like to follow up too on making sure we all have clarity on it, but I appreciate you giving us the first strategic plan. A lot of thought went into it. Trustee Karima?
You know how I love the idea that we have some outcomes that are sort of codified in a sense, but can we get a continual update on something like that rather than
It is.
us? Yeah, so.
It's part of the plan.
Okay,
The plan is to provide the board with regular updates. That was a request.
Yeah, thank you.
Very good. Thank you. Any other questions? All right. Well, thank you so much for your update, Superintendent President, and great questions, trustees. We're going to move on to Finance and Administration, VP Wheat, to
Yes.
discuss Measure Q Bond Quarterly Report.
Yes, thank you. This is the bond quarterly report for January 1st through March 31st for your information. I'd be happy to answer any questions on any of the projects that you may have.
Right. Does anyone have any questions about the,
I don't.
all right. Well, very good. Thank you so much, VP Wheat, for presenting, and we have no questions at this time, so appreciate your time. We're going to move on to Student Services, VP Neely.
Yes, good evening, thank you.
Hi.
We are responding this evening to the request for a bit more information on the financial aid landscape here at the college. So I'm going to ask one of the fabulous members that I get the joy of working with most days, our Dean of Financial Aid, Patrick Stott, to come up and share some. I want to say very quickly that we are enormously grateful that he was willing to leave the cushy world of consulting to be a dean here. He has enormous experience in this work, in this field, both in the system as well as across the country. He is an innovator. He is incredibly creative and student-centered, and so we're really lucky to have him. And one of the things he'll talk about tonight is not just some of the nuts and bolts of financial aid, but really a kind of umbrella framework around guiding students and the support that we give them through their journey, and looking at a lot of the ways that he's been very integrative and innovative in doing that. So Patrick, would you be willing to come up and?
That's all right. Okay.
Good job.
President Cargo-Reed, Superintendent, President Butler, and members of the Board of Trustees, it's my honor to be here to talk to you a little bit about financial aid and the kind of things that we've been doing here at Solano that make the financial aid experience a little bit different than you might find elsewhere. In particular, I want to talk about guided support programs. I think I came and talked to this august body about 2 years ago about the kinds of changes we were making in terms of delivering financial aid in a more timely fashion, cutting down some of the barriers. So that work continues. But we're building upon that work now by taking financial aid and the operations we have there and incorporating it with other parts of student services. That's our lovely building. I pride myself that we actually got pictures of things in here. The building is very nice. And this is another picture that makes me very happy. This is our EOPS ceremony from this term, which is just a lovely experience. Anyways, the big project is pretty simple. And if you talk about the project here, I mean, that's really kind of a capital P project. We're talking about helping students succeed. So it's a student services thing, it's an instructional thing, it's pretty much the responsibility of everybody on campus. But helping students succeed by learning what they need to succeed is just another way of saying meeting people where they are rather than making them come to you. And that's kind of the focus that we have behind this idea of guided support programs. We know some things, right? We know that if people have financial aid in place before classes start, we know if they have an academic plan in place, they're more likely to succeed, right? The statistics show that. We have data on that statewide. It doesn't have to be just from our college. It's all over the place. If they have textbooks, I started off as an instructor in anthropology, and I was gobsmacked when I would go into a classroom the first day and people were like, I don't have my books, I don't have my financial aid. I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't have your financial aid. How are you supposed to get your books? How are you supposed to succeed in this class? How are you supposed to do anything? And I'm like, I don't know, man, come to talk to financial aid. I was an adjunct at the time. Then a job came open in financial aid, and it turns out it paid better than adjuncting. So I went ahead and tried for it. Got that job, and then I was doing like both at the same time, which was kind of fun because I'm like, just go to financial aid. I'll be there in the afternoon. Go find me. But you realize quickly, the sooner that students have those resources in place, the better they do in the class, right? And if they don't, there's a problem. And that's why I've told faculty members when I talk in the division meetings, like if there's an issue, if you have somebody in the first day of class or second day of class and they don't have their books and they don't have their financial aid, send them to me directly. I want to know about it. Send me an email. We need to make this happen, right? And that's kind of the spirit behind this, is finding a way to be collaborative and bring these things together.
Can I stop you right there?
Oh, please do, yeah.
So how is it that we don't know whether they have their financial aid? Do you see what I mean? How do you end up being in a class without having financial aid set up already?
It's a great question. Yeah, and it points to something rather larger, right? Because there's an awareness of financial aid that has to be conveyed, right? That kind of knowledge has to be conveyed. And that's why first generation college students and other students that haven't had a lot of experience with the college environment or academia in general may not have like that certain like, oh yeah, that's right, I need to apply for financial aid. It doesn't just spring forth in their head, even though we have it as a requirement now in high school. Even so, people can opt out, and people don't realize that they could be getting financial aid, especially when they need it. A lot of people will take themselves out of the picture entirely. They'll say, I can't qualify because my parents make too much money, or I'm white, or whatever it might be. They'll say that is the disqualifying factor. But the fact of the matter is that about half of the students at Solano apply and get financial aid. And of the people who apply, about 90% actually do get some kind of financial aid. And the other half that don't apply, don't. And that's the fight. The fight is always getting the message out and getting that out and about.
But when you apply to us, you at the window comes up that says applying for fresh financial.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. No, there's a million different ways that we're talking to people. It would be one thing if we're just like, hanging around, not telling anybody about financial aid, but we are telling people on a regular basis. We're telling them in the schools, we're telling them at college nights, we're telling them when they're here on campus. But that doesn't always translate to student action, right? And that's the tricky part.
Apologies, but you also said we have it as a requirement in high school.
Yeah.
What did that mean?
Well, there was a recent move to make filling out a FAFSA a requirement to graduate as a senior in high school, which is kind of we applaud that in the financial aid community because that means that we're more likely to see it. But they also made it easy to opt out. And again, there's a piece of training that goes with that not only do you have to apply for FAFSA once, but you actually have to do it every year. So we had a lot of people in the second year who are like, I didn't know, I already did the FAFSA. I did that when I was in high school. Where's my money? And you have to, things change. It's based on income and, taxes change.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
What's that? That's correct. Yeah, that's a good point, right? Exactly. Not all of our incoming class is coming from high school, but a large enough portion of it is that we have to think about that as a funnel for sure, right? Other things that we need to have are counseling in place, because it's one thing to have an academic plan, but it's quite another to have somebody to talk to get that academic plan put together. That kind of counseling may not just be academic, though. It might be personal. Might have something to do with their career. Like, is this really where you need to be? Maybe you need to be doing something else. Access to fixed, regular, and adequate housing, which seems like a basic thing. It is. It's a basic need, right? And so As we start to put these things together and realize that the crises that we see in the student body here at Solano has a lot to do with housing, mental health support, counseling, and these other kinds of pieces that kind of float around the financial. And it isn't simply a matter of giving people money and having it all be good. It's about matching that money with resources, matching those people with other kinds of services, not only on campus, but in the community as well. And so I think one of the strengths that we have in our current success, our student services model here at Solano is that collaboration, that piece where we are joining together. And especially when we're able to rally around a student and go, this student has a particular need. And now we're going to work with a team of professionals on campus to meet that need and get that solved. And it's one of the places where we're at our best when we're doing our work. And that's kind of the whole notion behind the guided support programs. Idea is you take a high-frequency counseling model, and again, I'm pulling this from EOPS because it's a state-proven model in the state where if you have a requirement for students to meet with counselors 3 times during the term and to have an academic plan, that frequency of contact, that frequency of checking in, all those milestone points that happen during the term and during the course of their time here allow them to succeed at a much better rate than other people in similar situations who don't have that counseling support. You have the counseling support. I told you my story about textbooks. I'm very adamant about this. I want textbook support to be in place for students. Some kind of financial assistance. It wouldn't be a financial aid program if it didn't give somebody money. Me being in charge of it would be kind of odd, wouldn't it? Referral services to on-campus community resources to kind of connect all those things together. And one of the critical parts here is having a data sharing arrangement with financial aid. The ability for us to see things as it's coming in and kind of put out the alert like, hey, this person actually is in need for various different things. And then having staff members that are aware of that. It's very easy for us to silo up and just, I know financial aid, please don't ask me any questions about EOPS, or I know EOPS, please don't ask me any questions about financial aid. We're working on making sure that people are able to be fluent in all the various different acronym-laden idioms that are present on campus. All right. The directions are kind of silly. Put them into a program, determine the needs and goals of a particular student, and then make it happen. But that's really the project. That's what it's about. Okay. So over the last 3 years, and some people may wonder why 3 years, Pat. I've been here for 3 years. That's why. This is what I know. What happened before, I can point at statistics for that, but I can't tell you exactly what happened. I can give you some hints because I was working as a consultant kind of around it, but still. Fall 2022, our average packaging time was 17 days. So when a FAFSA would come in, it would take us about 17 days to figure out whether they're going to get something and be able to get that out to the student. Now we're down to about 5 days. A lot of that is just is coming up to speed of automation, and then weekends are kind of ruining our average. But that's okay. I hear we're supposed to not work on weekends, right? That's still a thing? Okay, good. All right.
No.
Appreciate that, yeah.
Not a thing.
In EOPS, in fall of 2022, actually fall of 2023, that came over under my umbrella. It's kind of my first acquisition was EOPS and CARE. And at the time, mostly people knew about EOPS because somebody mentioned it. It was kind of word of mouth, which is a good form of advertising, don't get me wrong, but students would come to apply. We changed that. We can figure out who would be eligible for EOPS rather broadly. And if EOPS is a financial aid program that we're able to give financial aid for, there's no reason why we shouldn't be looking at finding those people and getting that information out to them. So rather than having them come into the EOPS office or sign up on a website, we're finding them, sending them email going, it looks like you're eligible. Why don't you apply? And then we're taking the application that used to be like this long and going, actually, we have all that information in our system already. We really only have to ask you 3 questions. And questions are like, what language do you speak at home? Because if you look in Banner, you're not going to find what language they speak at home. Not yet, anyways, right? And so that changes the way that we're doing things. Next up is the other program. EOPS, CARE, Next Up, SOAR are all kind of moving into my umbrella with the same kind of model that we're trying to put into place. Next up, we were revitalizing, kind of resuscitating, in a sense, our foster youth program, which at the time just didn't exist. In the fall of 2023, with Next Up funding and bringing in some counseling support, some experts that had been part of the foster youth program before, we're able to start reworking that program and putting it back together. And now we have over 50 students that are in it. We have kind of a target of about 110, 120 students that should be eligible for the program, but are still out there, out and about. But that's kind of the project now, is kind of bringing them into the program and getting them the services they need. When we
Ask you a question
I'm sorry,
here?
please.
So our foster youth program now has 50 active students. How did we find them? Did they ask us, or did we find these?
Right, that's a fantastic question. So it's a combination, right? So there are people that just kind of find it, which again is not, I don't think that's the best way to do things. It might work for like, what do they call those, like sundews? Plants to like wait for flies to land on them, and they're like, I got you. Yeah, that's great. I just don't see that as like being a great way to do a student service program, right? So what we did first is we looked at the old rules. Okay, Next Up has different rules on eligibility and what years are involved, right, than what had been there previously in our CAF-YES. So the first thing we looked at was who was in our program back when it was extant. And then we reached out to those students. Are you interested in coming back to Solano? Would you like to be a part of the Next Up program? We got some pretty fancy things here. We got a whole brand new office now. We got a couch. I'm very excited about the couch, but that's all right. That's me. I'm kind of into furniture, I guess. That was the first step. And the second step is looking at that financial aid data and going, okay, who's coming in is clearly foster youth? Who is here that is identifiable as somebody that could be participating in this program and could be receiving those financial benefits from it? And then we're looking at that and we're making those recommendations. Again, reaching out to the student like, hey, I don't want to tell them about your business, but you might want to know about your business. This might be an option for you. That helps us, again, increase and grow that group. The foster youth, again, I think they expect us to have 100, 120 people here. Not all of them are going to be eligible for Next Up because it does have an age limit on it.
What is the age limit?
Yes,
What's that?
may we know what the age limit is on the program here?
The age limit, I think it's 26. I want to say it's 26.
Yeah, okay, and what age, or what are they looking at when they're qualifying students that have been are these students that have been adopted out of the foster care program? Are these students that are still in the foster care program, or how does this program
It could be either. It could be former or current.
Okay, so
Right.
there's not like a criteria that would make them ineligible?
No, they just have to have some proof that they were within the foster care system.
Okay.
Right, so it's pretty good. In fact, we have some ways of doing that. Again, financial aid has the ability to look at that through CSAC has a lookup site that we use for the Chafee grant. The Chafee grant is given to foster care people. Again, all of these things are there and already in existence. So it's just been a matter of kind of putting them together for the same purpose, right?
Yes.
Of building that program. All right.
Before you go there, because
Oh, yeah.
this is really important, because with foster youths, I don't know very much, but the one thing I did know or do know is that they're the most likely at 18 to be homeless and to kind of just be age out. And so not only are we also dealing with that as a possible
Absolutely.
problem? So we're doing
Yeah.
okay.
No, the
that's
Next Up
fine.
supports have been rather incredible. Again, it can make a big deal in someone's life. But what we've been looking at is finding, again, going back to the other slide, that fixed, adequate and regular housing, right? Because it's not enough to live, say, on somebody's couch. That's actually where I was when I was going to community college. I was just couch surfing from house to house. I didn't really have a place of my own to live at night. I just hoped that somebody's parents would allow me to eat their food, pretty much. But knowing that kind of experience, again, allows you to go, okay, you know what? We need to get you someplace safe. We need to get you someplace where you can live, someplace where it's going well for you. Give you a safe place here, yes, but we also have to have a safe place for you at night. Right, that's a part of the mission, and that's where what we do again bleeds over into basic needs and other services that are on campus, and getting those referrals out to community. We work with our partners in the community as well. First Place for Youth, SCO has a great group of people over there in order to make sure that we have that connection.
Thank you.
You betcha. Yeah. No, exactly. And so I don't know if you can tell, but I'm rather excited about this stuff. And I know it might be a little rough. It's getting up like 8:00 on a Wednesday, but yeah, here I am.
No, we're excited too.
Okay. All right. Good. All right. Let's go. All right. That works for me. So one of the big things we're proud of is we did a stress test. We looked at the EOPS eligibility. We knew we could grab out the people. We could find them. We could send out the invitations. We're going to do a stress test. What can we handle? Because one of the questions that always comes up, and it's kind of a lingering question, is like, is everybody working to the full extent of what they can do? Just like that kind of managerial question that comes up. So the stress test. We're going to grab as many people as we can. We're going to find them that they're eligible for EOPS, and we're going to get them into the program and see what happens. We're going to stuff it. We're going to just get everybody in that we can. Because the way that EOPS had been working in the past is it was the way things are done, it limits the number of people that can be in it. There's an application. It's super long. The deadline is X, and X isn't very far into the term. And after X, we don't accept applications, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All of these things are barriers to participation in the program. When we free up those barriers and we open up that invitation to as many people as we can, we had a huge change. 310% increase over 3 years, going from what was there in 2022 to what was there in 2025. And I think you guys asked for some more historical data. Good for you. I appreciate that. If you look at that, you'll see that the EOPS numbers have over time kind of gone up and down, generally speaking with the population that is at Solano. But if you look at the last 3 years, you're going to see a spike. You can't deny that spike, right? Because we stress tested it. There are limits. We don't have endless money. We don't have endless counseling. We don't have endless staffing.
Have all the barriers been removed that you've noticed that should be removed, or there's still some there that need to be removed?
Have all the what been removed?
Barriers.
Barriers. No, I don't think so. I think there are plenty of barriers that can still be removed.
Okay.
Right. But again, it's like if we were to take everything off and we were just to go, and we're going to put everybody that is eligible for this program into this program, we'd be looking at least 1,000 students at Solano. I'm certain of that. But there are things that limit it. Participation can be limited just by the student not wanting to participate. But there are also, again, those monetary and staffing restrictions that are always going to kind of get in the way. But we saw when we were able to do that stress test, it was able to shoot up. This is just a financial aid brag, but this is what we do in a year, right? That's about $26 million that go into our community. That's money is either going to pay off some things here, although for the majority of our financial aid students, they already have their tuition and fees covered. So you're talking about really tiny fees before that money then becomes the students, and then they spend it somewhere here in a community. An average of $3,689 is not a bad average at a community college, at least in my opinion.
What is an even better, how do we fit in terms of other community colleges? Are we getting more money for our students? Or?
That's a great question. And again, I just said it sounds like a great number, but I don't have the data to back it up. I was a rectly sourced fact. I apologize.
Okay.
Yeah. But I assume, and then I will give you guys the information.
Thank
but
you.
I think that we're doing rather well.
Okay.
This is one criteria among many. Student success, if you've been in the game for more than a minute, there's like a million different ways to look at this, right? And so I'm going to tell you that this is just one of many ways to look. But student success rate here, I'm using the Chancellor's Office data, is looking at actual success rates in classes, people who are passing their classes versus those who aren't. And it's interesting because we look Solano overall over that 3-year period, we do see a movement in the right direction. But if you look at EOPS, CARE, and Next Up here, again, looking at foster youth, because there wasn't a Next Up program in 2022, so that would be a valid question. Where's that coming from? We're using foster youth as the proxy there. But we're seeing a rather large movement. It's similar to what's happening over campus, right? So if you're a statistician, you'd be like, well, there might be some correlation going on here. I don't know if this is causality, and that would be legitimate. However, it is trending in the right direction. The fact that EOPS is performing and CARE is performing at or above the population, that's the point of those programs. Those are equity programs. They're the original equity programs in California, and they're doing what they're supposed to do. Next up, foster youth, as you guys have mentioned, has been a population that is traditionally not seen to be doing as great in these things because they've been underserved not only by our institutions, but the institutions that came before them. So by the time they get here, they're in a place where it's difficult for them to interact in that way. But it's clear that we can make movement in the right direction. If you look at the top of Next Up in 2025 and compare it to the Solano average in 2022, that's not that far off. We're making some serious moves. And again, it's definitely not us and just in my area. This is college-wide. And that's kind of the point of the guided support program, is that we're going to connect people that are in our programs with those services, with that counseling that they need, with basic needs, with those other kinds of areas, so that they can get exactly what they themselves, this one person, needs out of it. That kind of intake and management, case management, is what's allowing that to happen. And then this is another picture of the building because I like it so much. I figured I would just use it as a frame.
Go back to that last student success rates. Can you just explain that graph again? Because I'm actually a bit confused, because at first I was thinking, where is that 300% increase? And it's different. It has to do with whether they graduate. Success versus numbers served. So we're serving 310% more people
Yes.
from 2022.
We have way more
but
people.
Our success rate is
Still going up.
It's trending upward.
only up 10%.
Yeah.
I know that's, I am not in any way, what I'm saying is I expected a bigger success rate. So perhaps I'm,
Yeah, I would like to have it at 100%. That would be wonderful.
yeah.
Yeah.
So is the success, what is the reason why we aren't seeing more success?
Well, I mean, there's a million different factors, right? And I think there are literal journals that are dedicated to those kind of studies. So I couldn't speak to a particular cause. But you can think of different factors, life factors. Again, if you're dealing with students that are experiencing a lot of trauma, or they have experienced a lot of trauma, sometimes working with institutions can be difficult. And sometimes, even despite all the counseling and supports and things in place, it just isn't the right time. And they'll find themselves dropping out or moving along. Sometimes they let us know and we do whatever interventions we can. Sometimes we don't know about it until it's already happened.
Okay.
Right.
Do we have any exit interviews, paperwork that we can actually?
I think that's a fantastic idea, and I think there's been some work done on that. I believe COM has done some work on the exit interviews as part of the Student Equity and Success Committee from the Academic Senate. Yeah. So I know they're working that angle very well, and I'm curious to see what the end results of that can be as well.
And we will see those results, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. More results, even more results, yeah, exactly.
It's in pilot, I know, but I mean, I've always thought, like, just like when we lose staff, we should find out why staff move on, that type of thing. The more we know why people don't stay, the better. Okay, thank you, sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine, thank you.
Thank you so much. Any other questions? All right, well, thank you, and I look forward to finding out. The one thing that I have had feedback from some of our students is they do apply, and sometimes I guess the funding takes a little bit longer. Maybe it gets lost in the mail. It's not anybody's fault here. But what is another way that students who have gone through foster care, through or adopted out of foster care, how do they go and find out about these different programs? Do they just contact Student Services and we'll get connected, or how would a student at Solano or somebody looking to enroll in Solano be able to find out about what they're eligible for?
They should be finding about that information as they're coming in during the onboarding process. I mean, ideally, that's something that's going out to them right away.
What about active students?
We are working with a community partner, so if they're known and identified within our community here, they should already have that knowledge, and we're trying to set that up as a funnel so that we have a clear transition, and we have a transition plan as they move out of where they are to where they're going to be. The only problem that we have is if we have people coming from out of area, right? That's going to be more difficult for us to be able to get that way, and so it's a valid question. You know, and again, the whole thing comes down to, for financial aid, for supporting foster care, for EOPS, for all of this, it's about finding out who they are and sending that message out. If they do a FAFSA, and we are telling people about financial aid, hopefully everywhere, you know, if you meet anybody as a student, please tell them. That would be very kind of you. Because once they apply, then we're sending them out that information, and if we note that they are able to be a part of that program, then we're letting them know directly. Yeah.
Because, yeah, sometimes they don't fill things out correctly, too, as young students, and maybe they get declined, and yet they are eligible for certain services. Is there counselors or help here that if a student didn't fill maybe something out correctly, that they could get that extra support, or where would a student reach out to if they're in this same, you know, they adopted out, let's say at 3 or 5 or 6, doesn't matter. If they've gone through the foster care program in California, correct, they are eligible?
There's
they're
an
under
age limit
26?
there's a minimum age as well. I think it's 13.
Okay, was it 13? Oh,
Yeah.
yes, that's what I heard.
But that doesn't mean there aren't other programs that
Other
we can use
programs.
on campus. For example, SOAR would be able to accommodate the people that fell out of that. We had a grant for a while that was a higher up grant that would apply to anybody in either of those situations. So
Okay.
it didn't have the age restrictions. So when that was running, we had a tremendous amount of foster care people or current or former foster youth, but many who were not eligible for Next Step itself, but were eligible for the grant.
Okay.
And that was a particularly wonderful one. Because it paid aid as if it were a minimum job, 40 hour. If you were full time, you would get 40 hours worth of pay, which is pretty great.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
That's no longer active, or?
no, we spent
Okay.
all the money.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, no, again, it was it was a pilot program.
Okay.
They gave us about $3 million for it, and we spent every dime. Yeah. It was tremendously beloved. It was more successful than direct loans. If you look at the loan programs, the students that are in loan programs and how they perform not as well as the people who are on higher up, which performed maybe not as well as people on Pell Grant or whatever, but a lot of that is talking about different kinds of access to knowledge that occur, right? So, yeah, it's rough work. It's not easy. It's not, the student success isn't going to ever be 100%, and moving at 10%, I mean, it's not quite moving a mountain, but boy, it feels like it sometimes. Yeah, so I wouldn't be here to celebrate like, hey, I got one more student, you know. Yeah, we're doing good work, and I'm really proud of our team.
Appreciate you.
Yeah, totally. I didn't mean it that way. I just was trying to.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying you are either. I'm just, I have to speak up for my team because I am proud of the work they've done and proud of the support I've had from this team of lovely people right here as well.
Excellent. Well, thank you. I appreciate you giving us that information, and really opening our eyes to the progress and the team's doing here, and it is trending in the right direction. And same with our counseling services, correct? Like the online support for counseling, it's the same thing. We are being able to help each student have access to that, because we used to have a hotline. I'm hoping that's still active. Is it, VP Neely?
You mean in terms of emotional and mental support?
Yes, the support.
Yes, all of our students who are currently enrolled have access to a program called Timely Care, which is basically 24-hour, 7-day-a-week, on-demand support, which they can either schedule an appointment in a traditional way, they can talk to somebody right away. I think the average wait time is about 3 minutes if they're in a particular need at that moment, in addition to the mental health counselors that we work with through National University. So we have a number of different ways for students to plug in. And then our new bridge team, which is our behavior intervention team, we work very closely with Patrick and some of the other deans to make sure we're really triangulating that information. So if a student is slipping or there's some needs that we haven't noticed or we haven't been able to address, we quickly kind of try to triage and get them the support that they need.
Wonderful. Thank you for that. Yes, Trustee Karima?
Sorry. When you were talking about packaging, that in 2022 was 17 days, and now it's 5 days. What did you mean by packaging? Actually, the paperwork we need to submit, or them getting their money?
Right, yeah, I understand. So when we get an application from the federal government, the student goes on the website, fills out their stuff, it goes to federal government. Federal government turns it around, does some stuff with the data, then sends it out to us.
In 5 days?
When it gets to us, within 5 days, we'll have run the stuff in our system that tells them what they're going to get in the term.
So what is the timeline from the student giving it to the federal government? And do you see what I mean?
From the time that they submit
Mm-hmm.
the ICER or submit the FAFSA, that it gets turned into an ICER and comes back to us. But from that time to when the package, when the amounts awarded appear on their account is 5 days.
Yeah, no, I'm trying to figure out how long it takes for the federal government to do its job.
Oh, for it to do its job, usually overnight.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
so the student fills out the paperwork.
Yeah.
Overnight, the U.S. government
Yeah.
says yes or no. And for us, and then it takes 5
Right.
days for us to, okay.
Yeah, so the thing is, it's an average. If there's a problem with the file, or if the student has been selected for verification, like your income looks funky, we need more information, we got to do these things, then that becomes an extended process.
And it's like a random thing sometimes as well.
And back in the day, it was like a 30%, and some of it was just random, pure random, like we want to see. But now it's getting very targeted. Usually the people they pick, there's a reason. So it's interesting. But what that does is it means that the times for processing those files might be 20, 30, 40, 50 days.
And the people they pick, what is the reason?
I'm sorry?
You said there was a reason for the people they,
They could have an identity situation where they're not who they say they are. And they have used that identity elsewhere. They could be known to not have graduated high school, and they have to have graduated high school. They could have reported income that seems a little fishy, doesn't seem like it might be right. Could you please check it for us? There's a number of different reasons, but really it kind of boils down to those three. Those are the big ones. And that makes...
undocumented,
I'm sorry?
the undocumented.
You can
say that over the mic.
Oh,
What about undocumented?
His mic's on? I'm
Yeah.
sure, okay.
I was saying you can answer that on the mic, so.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, all right, I got you. Undocumented students. Undocumented students who fill out the CADA. It works a similar way. I would say our speed isn't as fast because we don't run that process as often because it's manual. So that one takes a little bit longer. But yeah, similar.
and finally, one more thing. How much is your staff? How many people in your staff?
It's just me. There's nobody else. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I think we have 9 people in the office.
And is that enough people for, like, would you?
If you ask any one of them, they will tell you no, that's not enough people. But it's a fairly average size for the size of college.
Okay.
Thank you. You're very important. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I appreciate your information, Patrick. And yes, we appreciate the updates
Okay.
and team.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
And can we make this on a regular basis? You come periodically?
Yes. Oh, yes.
Regular basis? Yes.
Our-
Really important.
Yeah, it would be my pleasure. I love that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna move on to announcements. Do we have any announcements from the board? All right, well,
Yes.
I
Yes,
have an.
yes.
Oh, yes, so do I. Yeah, all right, go ahead, Trustee.
Yes, most of you familiar with Vallejo Juneteenth.
Oh.
It's this coming Saturday at the Vallejo waterfront. So just Google Vallejo 2026 Vallejo Juneteenth and you see the details, what time the parade is. And assume that in the past years, Solano College had a table there. Do we have a table this year?
We do an outreach.
I think
do we have a
outreach
table
is
there?
planning to be.
Yeah.
Okay, very good. We do have a table there, so I'll come by your table on Saturday.
It's-
Our table.
Saturday at 10 a.m. at
Right.
Mare Island in Vallejo.
You usually have over 1,000 people
Mary.
there and excellent entertainment. I was a founding member of, I was a charter
Oh, my
member of the
goodness.
group.
Okay, can we get that cleared up? Superintendent.
I'll email.
Okay, yeah, we don't want to send people to the wrong areas, all right. It's a beautiful place, rough waters, but beautiful place. Trustee Karima.
Oh, no, I
Oh.
was just pointing out, I
thought you
have
said you had
nothing to
nothing
say.
as well. All right. Well, I wanted to give a thank you for everyone. Again, we did go to the commencement at the CMF. It was an amazing graduation. We had a record number of students there that were graduating and the PT, is it PTK?
Yes.
So it was an honor to be there, and it was just a beautiful ceremony. And with Trustee Kara and Superintendent President and our new President, Senate Rachel. Sorry, I will get down everybody's names, and of course VP Neely. We did miss you, VP Williams, but
Yeah, where were you?
I had strep throat, and so I was protecting all of you by
Well, thank
not
you.
being there.
yes, I appreciate
It's the
you.
first one I've missed in all the ones that they've
It's
had.
okay. We're just,
It's always
gotta
cool.
keep you on your toes,
Yes.
especially now that you got your name back.
Wonderful. So I just wanted to say thank you to all the beautiful commencements we did. We had a very full and meaningful month. And I also wanted to talk about on this Saturday that the Marine League is hosting a poker tournament, and it's going to be at 549 Merchant Street in Vacaville, and 100% of the proceeds go to support the veterans programs and their families. So I'm not familiar on the details of the buy-in. It is a poker tournament. It's going to have barbecue, raffles, things of that nature, and it starts at 5 p.m. at the Vacaville Veterans Hall, which is 549 Merchant Street in Vacaville. But all the 100% of the proceeds will go to helping the veteran families. And it's a great event. I went to it last year, even though I wasn't in the best of mood. I had just recently lost my favorite veteran, my grandfather, who had passed of cancer. He was a World War II veteran, but the amount of fun and enjoyment, and just to see where all this contribution is going to support our Solano County community is very touching. So
I have a question.
Yes,
What
ma'am.
type of tournament did you say?
it's a poker tournament, but you
Poker,
don't
poker,
have
okay.
to. It's all in good fun.
I got
Like
poker. I
It's
got
the
the
raffle that I
Are you
think
going?
generates the money. Yeah, you want to
Maybe.
go?
Good.
I'll go to your thing. You come to my thing. All right. All right. So thank you. That's all I had for
Can
announcements.
I, no, one more question?
Yes.
Dean Williams, member, oh,
Vice
sorry,
President.
VP. It's like,
Pres-
sorry,
Vice
it's,
President.
I think Dean is a lot better than VP.
It might be.
This
It
is
might be.
America. Everyone's a VP. Okay, so VP Williams. Do you remember a long time ago I mentioned that the firefighters graduation didn't have very many women?
Correct.
And the next time we had one woman. This last time, there were no women. I totally understand the difficulties, right? But I also, at the last graduation, our current staff, as the gentleman in charge of the firefighter is retiring in June, and we're looking for somebody else to take over the program.
When he submits his resignation, yes.
Oh, he
his
had,
retirement.
yeah. No, what I'm saying is maybe we can start thinking about becoming more inclusive.
We're always.
Okay, good. I know we are. It just that, it's firefighters is a very good career to have.
Absolutely. And we have a number of women, female firefighters on the staff as
Yeah.
instructors. The one who does the morning PT for our firefighters is a woman, and she puts those men to the test. My own son just graduated from a fire program through Sac City because he lives in Sacramento. And they also had a wonderful graduation ceremony, but they also had one female in the program as well. So it is a heavily male-dominated program, but we've seen some very successful women, so.
Anyway, just wanted to put it out there because it's so easy to make life difficult.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for your information and comments. Having no more items, do I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll move that we adjourn.
I second it.
All right, it was moved by trustee Anne Marie Young and seconded by trustee Rosemary Thurston to adjourn the meeting. Being no further business from the board, we adjourn at 8:23 PM. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
And have a good